Hello, students. This is the introduction to JMS 200 for the semester fall 2021. In case you're wondering what that retro video pattern is behind me, it's Dig Dug. I'm quite interested, dare I say, even obsessed with Dig Dug. I can break 200,000. Anyway, I'm trying to get up to 225,000. All right. This class is about the media. Okay, sometimes we refer to them as the legacy media industries: radio, television, film, newspapers. We'll even talk about public relations and advertising. Why? What's the purpose of this class? Well, one, if you're planning on majoring in anything in the School of JMS, that would be advertising, public relations, journalism, or media studies. If you're planning on majoring in one of these things, you have to take the class anyway. So what the heck? Why do I even bother to make the class interesting? But I do. I try to make the class as interesting as possible. If you are not planning on going into one of these industries, if you have a different major, that's totally fine, although maybe you should reconsider. But if you want to major in something else, you still need to understand this stuff so that you can be a media literate individual. By media literacy, we mean you have the tools and proper critical thinking to evaluate the information that you are receiving through different media channels. Not everything that's broadcast is true, and not everything that's in print is true, and not everything on social media is true. So you should be able to understand how these industries operate. Then you can be, we say, is a more media literate and basically a more educated individual, a more educated consumer of information. So I think this stuff is important, and I also think it's pretty interesting and sometimes fun. Okay, a couple of things. Now here's where you need to pay attention. Email me. If you want to email me, spell my name correctly, use the Canvas inbox. Okay, I know that sounds nitpicky, but I get so many emails. There's well over 100 students in the class. When I see an email, I maybe go back to it an hour or 2 hours later, and I can't find it because I get so many emails. If it's in Canvas inbox, everything from JMS 200s together, it's so much easier for me to find the information. So please, 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 I cannot stress this enough. Communicate with me through the Canvas inbox. It really does make my life much, much easier. And I'll try and respond within 1 business day, 2 business days at the most. This means if you email me on a holiday or a weekend, you may have to wait until the next business day for me to respond, because I'm also on vacation and I also try and take time off on the weekends too. All right, the textbook is called The Mediated World by Mindich. Oh, okay, this is it recording? Yeah. Okay, this is an image of the textbook. All the information that you need is in the syllabus to find it. You can get the paperback version. You can get an online version. I did use this course. I did use this textbook last year. Okay, when I taught the class last year, I did use the textbook. So you could probably find used copies. Inshallah, you can find a used copy. I know this stuff is expensive, but it's kind of out of my control. All right, so that's a textbook. That's how to email me. The structure of the class, it says we meet Monday and Wednesday. We don't meet on Mondays, okay? We're gonna meet on Wednesdays. It's gonna be a live class done through Zoom. It's optional. I don't take attendance. If you can't make it, if you've got a job, if you're feeling sick, if you're traveling, fine, deal with that. I will record the classes and post them on Canvas. I can answer questions. I can review material that might be on a quiz. I can review the material from the past quizzes. I like to reuse old questions, especially if many people miss them. So I think it's good and helpful to come to these Wednesday class meetings. They're optional and they're done online. We don't meet on Mondays. There may be 1 or 2 Monday meetings, but for the most part, I can deliver the information online, and I don't think it's necessary to meet twice a week. The grading, okay. Here's an example. This video is an example of how some of the grading is going to be done. They're called play posit videos. There's 3 or 4 questions embedded in the video, and you have to answer the question to proceed. So you can't just put on a video and go have dinner with your boyfriend or whatever. You need to watch the video. And I try and make them interesting. So watch the video, answer the questions as they come up. You get points for them. There's going to be a couple discussion board posts, not too many, maybe 4, maybe 5, where you have to respond to a prompt. And I expect these things to be clearly written, properly written, not just stream of consciousness. but just, do your best to respond to the post as clearly and directly as possible. A couple of quizzes. All right, we're going to have 5 quizzes, and I dropped the lowest quiz grade. The quizzes are always on Fridays. Okay, there is a time limit. From the time the quiz opens, you have 30 minutes to complete it, but you can do it at any point in the day. You could do it first thing in the morning. You could do it middle of the afternoon. I would not recommend doing it at 10:30, 11, 11:30 at night. You may not be in the most clear state of mind at that time, and internet may go out. So I would knock it out early as you can on Friday. The quizzes are not group projects. They're not group projects, okay? I know it's an online world, people share information, but please don't be sharing screenshots or information like that, because there are repercussions if we discover you doing this. The deadline for everything, the deadline for videos or the discussion board posts or the quiz is always going to be on a Friday, okay? So the material will be posted a week in advance. If you want to do the videos on Monday or Tuesday and do the discussion board post on Monday or Tuesday, I would encourage you to do that. Do it, get it out of the way, but you always have until Friday midnight to do it. The deadline for everything is always going to be Friday midnight. All right, 2 final things. I call these supplemental assignments. It could be a little confusing, but hopefully not too confusing. The first is something called SONA, S-O-N-A, SONA. SONA is a software platform used for organizing research, human subjects. We have professors and even graduate students on campus who want to give surveys and questionnaires to people, or maybe you watch something and then answer questions. This is all part of academic research. And as a way of organizing people and having a pool of people to answer these questions, we put people in a tool called SONA. I don't run SONA. I do not run SONA. Someone else has run SONA. I just help them out by making it mandatory. Look at the instructions in the syllabus. You have the entire semester to do this. The deadline's at the end of the semester, whatever date that may be. You have to do, or you should do, 2 research studies. I've been told that each study takes approximately 30 minutes to complete. So if you do 2 of them over the course of the semester, that's 1 hour of your life. You'll get, what is this mark on my head? What is that mark right there? Okay, you'll get the credit. But again, look at the instructions in the syllabus. You go to a different website, you have to get a username and password, write it down someplace. So you have an account on SONA and you deal with that outside of JMS 200. I just keep track that you do it. And at the end of the semester, I'll get a list via red IDs of all the people that did the SONA thing. So that's SONA. The second thing, which could be potentially confusing, I admit, let's get this busy work out of the way, is something called the JMS assessment survey, okay? We, in the School of Journalism and Media Studies, are constantly evaluating and updating and hopefully improving our curriculum. And one way we do this is we test students to see, are they learning anything in our program? So there's a test early in your academic career and then a test when you graduate, and hopefully there's some knowledge that's being gained from there. Everyone needs to do the JMS assessment survey. You do this online. Don't cheat. It is a test, but please don't cheat. Don't share information. Whatever score you get is irrelevant, right? I mean, if you bomb this thing, it doesn't matter towards your grade. I only want a checkbox. Did you do it? Did you not do it? That's all I'm concerned about. So there's no point in Googling the answers, just answer. And if it doesn't make sense to you, if you've never heard these terms before, if they're concepts you've never heard before, that's okay. Presumably, if you major in JMS, by the time you graduate, you will have learned this information, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Everyone needs to do the JMS assessment survey. You need to get that done pretty early. I think it's by the 2nd week of the semester. SONA, you have till the end of the semester to do. So anyway, look at the syllabus. I try to make it as clear as possible, okay? I don't take late work. Work is due when it's due. And I don't feel like I should take late work because I give you a week notice to do things, which is also why I, encourage you to do it early. If you do have some situation, if something horrible happens, I realize that, life is unpredictable. I'm not, I'm a human being. Contact me as early as possible and we can work it out. If you need some extra accommodations, if you need some special exceptions, but in general, I expect people to do the work when it's due. because I feel like my deadlines are entirely reasonable to begin with. So if you have an issue, please contact me. Use Canvas Inbox to contact me. Anyway, I know that's a lot of information, but once we get this into a routine and you understand, that we only meet on Wednesdays and everything is due on Friday, hopefully it'll go smoothly and we're off.